Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Fantastic Four First Steps released new footage at D23 Brazil and an official synopsis that has us asking, what personal drama will Galactus' attack on Earth stir up, and why is it probably re-ensues kids?
It's your kids, Marty.
Galactus actor Ralph Ineson posted a near-wrap sweatshirt showing the Marvel 1 flight crew patch, signaling production will soon be ending on time. Well done, Matt Shackman. So in this video, we are going to break down everything new we learned and talk about the Franklin and Valeria of it all in what we're calling a fantastic update. Before we get into this update, I'm already hating it. With the holidays approaching, get something special for that nerd in your life from our merch store, nerdriot.shop. We got so many great Marvel-inspired designs, even some Doctor Doom designs. It's really the best way to support what we're doing here at New Rockstars. Okay, last week, Disney sent out a media kit to press that somehow we got on the list of that includes this official synopsis for Fantastic Four First Steps. Set against the vibrant backdrop of a 1960s-inspired retro-futuristic world, the Fantastic Four First Steps introduces Marvel's first family. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Johnny Storm, Human Torch, and Ben Grimm, the Thing, as they face their most daunting challenge yet. Forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond, they must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus, Ralph Ineson, and his enigmatic herald, Silver Surfer, Julia Garner. And if Galactus' plan to devour the entire planet and everyone on it weren't bad enough, it suddenly gets very personal. It suddenly gets very personal. I am so curious what this means. We made a whole freaking video about it. But this media kit also includes the mention that joining this cast is actor Sarah Niles, perhaps best known as Dr. Sharon Fieldstone from Ted Lasso. Some are thinking she might be playing Alicia Masters, Ben Grimm's girlfriend, but maybe they're just saying that because like Kerry Washington played the character in 2005 and 2007. Either way, the role she's playing is not yet confirmed. The full cast includes Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, Human Torch, Eben Moss-Backrack as Ben Grimm, the Thing, Ralph Ineson as Galactus, Julia Garner as Shala Bal, Silver Surfer, Paul Walter Hauser in an unknown role, John Malkovich in an unknown role, Natasha Lyonne in an unknown role, though in What If Season 3 coming next month, she will be voicing an original Marvel character named Birdie, more on that in a bit. And now we know Sarah Niles will be joining the cast in an unknown role. But the robot Herbie will be part of this story. Not yet confirmed who is voicing Herbie. The villain Mole Man is also expected to appear in the film, largely because the Fantastic fan handout that we got at San Diego Comic-Con includes nods to Subterranea, which is the domain of Mole Man in the comics. So some are thinking Paul Walter Hauser could be playing Mole Man. Fun fact, P.W. Hauser has already appeared in the MCU on Bucky Barnes' list of names in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but that's just because Sebastian Stan and Hauser were buddies for when they were both in I, Tonya. When I was a kid, I was always jealous of the tabletop gamers who were into Warhammer. They always had 1,000 awesome figurines that made me want my own army. And now with Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus, I do, and it kicks ass. Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus is a turn-based tactical strategy game set in Games Workshop's Warhammer 40,000 universe. In Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus, you bring some of the universe's most powerful warriors to lightning-fast tactical skirmishes where you are in full control and only superior tactics can deliver victory. You can expand your collection across multiple factions to find new tactical possibilities as you bring your troops to battle and sweep the galaxy clear of all resistance. Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus has over 70 champions and 17 playable factions, but my favorite are the Blood Angels. They have an awesome name, kick-ass red armor, and they destroy enemies. Tacticus has game modes for every type of player, including PvE campaigns, PvP, live events, guild raids, and a ton more. New game modes, content, and features are constantly being added, so if you're looking for a game you can sink your teeth into, Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus is the game for you. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code to get started. Now, we're not going to show you, but there have been some set sightings of another character some think might be Frankie Ray Nova, who had a non-powered role as a U.S. Air Force officer love interest to Johnny Storm in 2007's Rise of the Silver Surfer. But her golden Nova form could be the role Natasha Lyonne is playing, if her new character in What If, with her cosmic powers, is connected to that in any way. I'm just making a blind guess here, but we might be seeing Paul Walter Hauser as Mole Man, Natasha Lyonne as Nova Frankie Ray, and Herbie voiced by either Sarah Niles' calm British voice or by Malkovich's unmistakable vocal style.
I can be John Malkovich.
I'm sorry?
My name is John Malkovich.
I don't sound anything like that.
No, you sound exactly like this.
Others are saying that Malkovich could be playing Franklin Storm, Sue and Johnny Storm's father. So the synopsis I mentioned only really poses two interesting surprises. One, the wording that Galactus is their latest challenge yet. And this is the first time we're seeing the MCU Fantastic Four, meaning that the first act of this film is going to be them facing lots of different villains to kind of catch them up to speed and catch us up to speed to them. And that's probably how Mole Man will be part of the story. We know that this is going to be in an alternate universe that has a retro-futurist appearance to it. We've done a lot of videos about what that version of Manhattan will look like. But really, the question here is, what does this wording mean by it suddenly gets very personal? Let's keep that question in mind as we go back through the new shots that were in this new trailer footage from D23 Brazil that attendees got to see. Some of these images were posted online by a Brazilian Joseph Quinn fan account. From what we could tell, it was mostly the concept trailer that I was able to witness at San Diego Comic-Con last July, and I broke down in this video on the new Rockstars channel. But some new shots were added. So just to kind of run through it, this footage starts with the Future Foundation bumper, followed by a Mr. Wizard style kids show called Fantastic Science with Mr. Fantastic, with Reed Richards lecturing to a bunch of bored kids. This equation not only confirms alternate dimensions, it suggests that all our Earths exist on separate dimensional planes. And then he gets the kids' attention by igniting his jet engine. We see the Excelsior launch pad from above, almost from a Galactus view of Manhattan, and we see that it juts out from the city into the East River. And we know the layout of this universe's version of Manhattan based on that Fantastic fan that we got at Comic-Con, and it labels the Baxter Building and the nearby Excelsior launch pad. Excelsior, of course, named after Stan Lee's catchphrase and the New York State motto, meaning ever upward. Excelsior also appears on the flight crew patch on the sweatshirt given to this film's cast by director Matt Shakman, according to Galactus actor Ralph Ineson. One new shot in this footage that we didn't see before shows a fuller mock-up of the Fantastic car as it turns past us. I believe you can see all 4 seats occupied, and the car zips toward this alternate Manhattan skyline, including the Chrysler building that you'll remember from the 2012 Avengers film that Thor electrified with Mjolnir. The design of the car we got to see at Comic-Con, and this thing levitated over our heads in the Hall H room. I still don't understand how they did it because I didn't see any wires, and we all just kind of like looked past that they made a car fly. There probably was some like wires or crane that I just didn't see. Then what I saw in the Comic-Con footage, a shot of the Baxter Building of this film with its curved glass skyscraper with a 4 logo at the top of it, which slopes downward into this disc-shaped base, and beneath that, a tarmac that leads out to the launch pad, and the 4 members of the team are walking out toward it, similar to shots that we've seen in Apollo 13 and The Right Stuff. One thing I love about the sloped design of the skyscraper is that it reminds me of the 2007 film Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, when that movie's Silver Surfer, Norrin Radd, surfs down the curved side of the real-world Grace Building in New York City, and I wonder if this movie's Silver Surfer, Shia LaBeouf, Julia Garner, will do something similar to the Baxter Building of this film. This version of the trailer also shows the Let's Make a Match dating game show, but when contestant number 3, Ben Grimm, is selected, now we cut to a new shot of a studio audience cheering with some fan signs. We love the Fantastic Four, and someone else with a fire-shaped sign saying, we love Johnny. But what I love about this is Johnny isn't on this game show, at least I don't think. So just someone came to watch Ben Grimm on this dating game show and brought a sign for his friend. We get the suit up footage that we saw before in the Comic-Con footage and close-ups of each of their names stitched on their suits, and of course each of them checking the comms, followed by Sue Storm saying that last voice you heard was my baby brother Jonathan Storm, and ladies, he's very single, followed by the medium shot, cut to close-up of Johnny just looking very uncomfortable. But now, instead of cutting to the launch footage and the flight crew mission control that I think Matt Shakman might have just lifted directly from one of Ron Howard's shots in Apollo 13, now we see some new shots. The 4 logo on the launch pad, or maybe on the roof of the Baxter Building. We see some kids running down a sidewalk of a city street to watch the launch footage on a TV through a shop display window. I actually wonder if this could be Yancey Street, Ben Grimm's old neighborhood. And we do focus on one girl, and briefly, I had a little pocket theory here that this might be a young Alicia Masters. If the speculation is right that Sarah Niles is playing Alicia Masters, and the Fantastic Four spaceflight could result in some time dilation in which the rest of the world ages up without them, you know, like Interstellar or Flight of the Navigator. I don't know if we need to see 2 different eras of this Manhattan, so I'm gonna let go of that theory, but I'll just have it on the record there. Also mixed into this new footage are shots of other bystanders of this New York watching the launch, recording it on old cameras. One group of people look like they're on a boat, probably in the East River. We also see some other people beside a taxi, drinking beers and watching the space shuttle blast up into the atmosphere. And as before, we end with this amazing shot of Galactus appearing, looking through this window of the Baxter Building, while Herbie, who looks like it's doing some housework, turns around in shock in the lower left corner. So this arrival of Galactus with his iconic antlered helmet might be the most exciting thing to happen to the MCU in years. This shot, though, might just only ever be concept footage, because Galactus, while huge in scale from Herbie's perspective, is still much smaller than his classic Devourer of Worlds comic size. Galactus is supposed to be around like the same size of Arishem appears to be in in the Eternals film. But here, Galactus seems like he's around the same size as the Baxter building. I mean, maybe he's standing in the East River and he's kind of leaning down to look into the window, but still too small to devour a world. Maybe by Devourer of Worlds, he will be the size of a small celestial so that we can still conceive of him, and then the way he devours the planet will be through his ship, rather than, a space god plucking a planet like an apple and biting into it. But however the final version of the shot will look, or however big Galactus will be, what do we think Matt Shakman is trying to suggest with this shot? Why is Galactus looking into the window of the Baxter building? Who is he looking for? Well, by It Gets Personal in the synopsis, I think we must be talking about stakes even more critical than the loss of one's entire world, and arguably the only thing more heartbreaking than that loss would be a parent losing their child. And that's why I think Fantastic Four First Steps will include Reed and Sue's children, Franklin and Valeria. Franklin Richards is actually one of the most important Marvel characters, an Omega-level mutant and a reality warper who ends up using his powers to restore the multiverse after its destruction towards the end of the Multiverse Crisis and Jonathan Hickman's 2015 Secret Wars crossover event that Marvel Studios is building up toward in Avengers Secret Wars. Valeria Richards is Reed and Sue's daughter, who definitely takes more after her father, Reed. She's extremely intelligent. They actually named Valeria after Victor Von Doom's mother. There is a beautiful moment with Reed and Val in Fantastic Four number 60 in 1998, where Reed is putting his daughter to bed and he just kind of recognizes his past arrogant mistakes. And I think Marvel needs to put that in the movie somewhere. We know that Marvel Studios considers Marvel's first family to be a full family with kids, like in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. John Krasinski's Reed Richards from the 838 universe hints at the existence of Franklin and Valeria.
I have children of my own. I understand your pain.
Is their mother still alive?
Yes.
And I think the focus on the Future Foundation in the marketing for this film, from the website where Marvel made comic recommendations, to the bumper at the top of the concept trailer, to the banners we saw around San Diego, is meant to point to the organization that Franklin and Valeria will create to document what their parents did. The Future Foundation is something that Franklin and Valeria are a part of during the events of the 2015 Secret Wars event, and I think they are running the Future Foundation now. And what we are seeing in this documentary style footage focuses on the family dynamic and includes all these close-ups of Reed and Sue holding hands and little vignettes of them like instituting a rule for family dinner every Sunday night, no exceptions, because it is their kids editing together a home movie of how their family formed. So I'm sure I'm not the first to theorize something like this, but I think Galactus is coming to Earth not just to devour the world, but because he's specifically targeting Franklin Richards. Galactus might know this reality warper is a threat to the universe at large, so Galactus could be presenting the Fantastic Four with a choice: either give up your son or I'll devour your entire world to get to him. Comment down below with your thoughts about this. Follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all 3 channels in the New Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. And thanks again to Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code to start playing today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.